The fourth set will be played on Whirlwind. Spawning in the bottom right-hand position as the Blue Zerg, playing for Evil Genius's Team Liquid. His name is Jaedong.
His opponent playing for SK Telecom T1. Got the first kill for their team, now going for the second one against his opponent. His name is Parting, spawning as Red Protoss on the left top corner of the map.
Those SK Telecom shirts are sick, man. I gotta get myself one of those. You're like, uh-huh?
No additional comment.
Uh-huh. All right. Take that as you will, viewers. Okay, so I'm thinking about this from Jaedong's perspective. What should he try to do to take out Parting this game?
He could go for a special build that punishes the gateway inside the main base.
Kamehameha!
Ah, Bunky. Always gives me a good laugh. I mean, if you ever stop by the stadium and if you watch a SK Telecom T1 game, you know, Bunky's a really friendly mascot.
You know what? If Bunky was a cartoon, his name would be Bunks Bunky.
And, you know, he plays around with you, and if you're a girl, well, kind of watch out. He's solo.
He's a pervert, you mean?
Yes.
Pervert. All right, well, we do have a hatchery going down here for Jaedong. Is that a hatch first? I see. Ooh.
It's Jaedong, I'm not surprised.
Well,
and also the map does work out for him if you think about it.
Yeah, for the map it works out for him, but I haven't seen him do it in a while. Parting, he's going for the in-base expansion. This is something that we see a lot from Parting.
Yeah.
One of the players that really push this style of play against Zergs, and the Zerg players are always going to be a little bit uneasy against this style.
Yeah, I mean, they are figuring out how to deal against this, and in fact, look at this part, Jaedong just getting a gas before getting a spawning pool.
Yeah, and he hasn't scouted his opponent yet. Parting, likewise. The Overlords are going to find that base last as well, so a little bit unlucky for Jaedong, but not the big steal in the world.
And Jaedong's going to have a pretty good idea what his opponent's going to go for, because he knows that Parting loves to do it, especially on this map.
I'm sure that Jaedong has this build in mind when he's playing against Parting.
Yeah, and in fact, just checking inside the main base just to make sure that the Nexus isn't over there instead of checking only for the natural.
Yep. All right, Parting getting ready to take his natural base now. Setting his probe down there. Is he going to build a pylon here first?
Nexus first.
Nope. Yep. Okay, grabbing that Nexus. Going to eventually wall off there by that ramp as well. All right, Jaedong, he's making 4 lings now. We have Mothership Core on the way from Parting. It's getting that Warp Gate research as well.
And just mining enough gas to get the speed out for now, Jaedong, and he could just mass up a lot of Zerglings if he sees a small hole in Parting's wall.
Yeah. Parting is pretty good at dealing with those kind of things, though. I remember his series against Life where Life tried to punish.
I don't know how he defended against Life Zerglings.
Neither do I, man. Like, that's why I'm like, you don't want to try to punish this guy's early expansion because he will hold it no matter what.
Well, if you think about it, this time around, the gateway positioning is slightly different by Parting. Usually he puts it in the back of the middle so that the Zerglings cannot go through that area. Yeah. And this time around, if Jaedong just decides to make a lot of Zerglings and sneak it inside the main base, it will do some damage.
Mothership Core going to scare away those Zerglings for now. He's confirmed what his opponent's up to, though. He can assume that there's an expansion there. Jaedong grabbing his 3rd hatchery now, based on that information. Oh. Okay, there we go. I think he was double-checking for a probe.
Double-checking for a probe and making sure that the hatchery was down at the right location.
Yeah. All right, we have a Stargate follow-up here from Parting, and the wall's going to complete here for him as well. I'm waiting for the metagame to get to the point where Zergs do Baneling busts against Protoss at the natural.
Best.
Best get that pen out of your mouth, man.
So good now. He saw the camera. He knows that it was on air, so he's going to take it out for now.
All right, the Zergling is looking around on the map, maybe for potential proxy pylons and that sneaky probe. But Parting playing it pretty much just a straight-up defensive at this point. The Stargate's going to complete soon here. Warp Gate about to complete as well here. And we got an extra gas going on for Jaedong now, adding in some more drones. Early game PvZ until the Phoenix come out can be quite passive.
Yeah. And all Jaedong should focus right now is getting up to 3 hatcheries, getting his tech out while making as many drones as possible, and only storing down the Spore Crawler 1cc the Stargate units come out. He might lose some queens here and there, yes, but, you know, it's inevitable if there's a lot of things down.
That's true. Alright, J-Dong deciding to tech up into layer now. Getting down that Roach Warren just to be safe around this time. Very common for Zergs to do this. And grabbing his first evolution chamber now. Not going for a second one. May get that later on though. And the hallucinated Phoenix does see the layer time in there, and I believe it spotted the Roach Warren as well.
It saw everything. Immediately behind us, there's a Robo going down. The Forge also finishing for parting. And J-Dong just macroing up heavily behind us.
He is. He's getting a macro hatch in his third base, or at his natural actually. And a +1 attack on the way for J-Dong. That's the ranged attack. So this is not going to be any type of lane heavy play there.
I'm just surprised that he only made one evolution chamber.
Yeah, me too. I was a little bit perplexed by that. All right, the Phoenixes are revealed to this Overlord here. They're going to move across the map, try and do a little bit of damage. We already have 6 Spore Crawlers on the way from J-Dong, so he is going to be completely prepared for this annoying harassment from his opponent parting.
What's also funny is that mostly Zerg players only made 1 Spore Crawler at each base, but they realized that the Phoenixes, if you micro them well, you could attack the drones at the gas. Outside of 1 Spore Crawler's range. So J-Dong, he's someone who doesn't like to lose drones. He's just making 2 to make sure that the Phoenixes cannot even get close to the drones.
I like that decision. These Phoenix, they're not going to actually be able to do any type of harassment here.
They're only going to scout around, and because he saw the Spore Crawler positioning, Parting is not making any additional Phoenixes. Behind this, there is a Robo Bay out of the way.
I want to point out J-Dong's positioning for the Spore Crawlers. He basically put one at each farthest mineral, like right in front of it. And we haven't really seen that too much, so that's actually really cool that J-Dong's gone out and done that.
And that actually covers every single base.
Yeah, it covers the gases, it covers all of the area where you could potentially lift from. And if you're going to move in here, you have to take some pull damage. You just have to accept that. Parting doing a good job grabbing 4 workers total here.
Well, do remember that that's 1 Spore Crawler against 5 Phoenixes, so you can just micro a little bit and get up to 6 easily if you commit to it.
Of course. Oh, look at this. We have a Spire on the way from J-Dong, and he's making roaches behind this. The Spire, I don't think it can be seen here. Okay, it's going down to the 3rd base.
It's actually hidden over there. Means he doesn't want to reveal it until the very last second. Now, I have a feeling that J-Dong is going to go for 1 wave of roaches, and as soon as he takes down some of the Phoenixes, he's going to transition into Mutas. That's the feeling that I get from this point. But he could still go into Corruptors, knowing that his opponent has a Robo down, and I'm not too sure how much he saw with the initial Overlord scouting inside the main base. He might have seen the Robo Bay.
Yeah, the Phoenix will be able to scout this attack from J-Dong. He's just building up a good amount of roaches right now. His worker saturation is almost ideal at this point, so it's pretty good there. Making a lot of Zerglings behind this as well. J-Dong does have that +1 ranged attack. The +1 attack for Parting, I believe, is recently completed as well. It's going to grab a Twilight Council behind this as well as the Immortal and the range upgrade.
But look at this, J-Dong trying to hide his roaches until the very last second. The Spire is finished, but the biggest focal point right now is that the roaches are moving out on the map. Parting the scouted with the Observer.
Parting is behind on supply here. The Phoenix, though, are going to be able to see everything. This is going to be annoying for him to deal with, but I'm pretty sure that Parting won't die to this attack here. He's got a lot of units. And the J-Dong a little bit out of position with these units. Defensive Time Warp going down in a very nice location. J-Dong deciding to say, all right, I'm just going to back up and macro here. But no, he's going to go for the attack. This may be a bit of a mistake. A lot of his units have been cut off here, and the force field's really solid from Parting. J-Dong falling in supply rapidly here, and he's going to move in and try to do some economic damage, but these units are all going to fall, and that may allow Parting to go for a counterattack.
That's all J-Dong needs to focus right now. While he's going for the probes, he needs to macro heavily back at the main base.
Oh, and unfortunately, all of those roaches get caught between the force fields and the Nexus there.
But look at this. He's transitioning into Mutas.
17
Mutas. Like I said, he was saving a lot of gas. He was going for +1. I haven't seen any Corruptors being made as soon as the Colossus came out. And 19 Mutas are on the way. If Parting decides to go for a counterattack right now, it might be a death blow to Parting.
It could be. I mean, he's getting the +2 attack. He's getting Blink right now. The +1 Flyer attack is going to complete for J-Dong very soon here. And the longer you can hide these Mulisks, the more valuable they'll be and the more damaging they can be to your opponent's economy.
Here comes Parting's main army. He finally sees some Mutas. He knows what he is up against. Those 2 Mutas are going to get taken out relatively easily. One of them gets saved luckily, but he's going. J-Dong's going for a counterattack with the Mutas.
J-Dong's saying, I don't even care about this 3rd base. Kill it. I'm just going to go for your natural 3rd base. You better have defense at home to deal with it. J-Dong going for another expansion behind this as well. And the Phoenix Scout It's only at 5 right now.
It's only at 5. There's only 5 additional Stalkers getting warped in. Only rebuilding the Phoenixes right now. The Zerglings doing nice job surrounding every single of those Stalkers.
And the blink just hasn't completed yet, so all the Stalkers are going to die. That's a nice win for Jaedong. He forced a recall back as well, and he's going to be able to potentially pick off one of those Phoenix. They go down. The Muta count still at a pretty solid number here. And we have a continued Muta and Zergling creation from Jaedong here. Another Phoenix getting sniped off as well.
Jaedong's doing a nice job just cutting the number of Phoenixes right now. He knows that if there's a critical number of Phoenixes, he is going to lose the game. Behind this, Parting, smartly, he's putting down a fleet beacon to make sure that he's going to get the range against the Mutas.
Jaedong needs to handle this perfectly here. If he can do enough damage right now and keep that Phoenix count down very low, then I can see him winning this game here, but he's got to handle these Phoenix properly. He may need to add in some corruptors there. Nice job. Double-pronged attack there. Reinforcing, he's got a lot of Mutas in this army now.
Now, he could still make this work as long as he doesn't see the second Stargate go down by Parting.
Yeah.
Because right now, the Muta count is so high that even if he makes a lot of Phoenix, he needs a Stalker over there to make sure that the Phoenixes do not get taken out by the Mutas.
Funny enough, we have the Spire left intact at the third base. The third base died. Muta's moving in here, Parting out of position. He's going to most likely lose a lot of these units in addition to the Colossus there. And this is starting to look kind of scary for the Protoss player. If he can't get a critical amount of units to deal with this, then he may end up losing the game. The Muta count is so high here, he can just move in and snipe off units one by one.
And once he's seen this from Phoenix, all he has to do is fight outside of the range from the Stalkers all day long.
The Phoenix range ability is getting close to completion as well. Jaedong now up to a very high supply number. I think that's 193 now.
And remember, Jaedong did a nice job taking out the Colossus, which means that there's only Immortals, few Zalas, and Stalkers. Those against the Zerglings, not the answer.
No. So we have a second Stargate on the way. The range upgrade, I believe is Aeon Pulse Crystals upgrade just finished. And that's going to allow Parting to really just cut away a lot of these units. The Zerglings moving in here. I'm not sure if that's the right decision. They need to go for an attack, try to take out as many Stalkers and Phoenixes as possible. The Muta count, though, is still pretty solid here. It's up to 19, and there's only 4 Phoenixes. The Zerglings are pushed back here. Jaedong's still in a very solid position. He's got a lot of expansions behind this as well, so he can continue to fuel his economy. And I would love to see a tech switch from Jaedong very soon here.
He has to do, I mean, once he sees the second Stargate, he will probably tech switch into something else. Making an infestation pit means that he is preparing to go into something else at this point. Maybe better upgrades on air, but most likely getting, you know, maybe Swarmos out, maybe getting the Corruptors out for himself.
And the Infestors would be a great choice as well because they can fungal those Phoenix in one position.
And in fact, he is going for Infestors.
There we go. Infestors on the way here, getting the energy upgrade for the Phoenixes and, excuse me, for the Infestors. But yeah, these Phoenix with the range upgrade can cut these Mutas all day. Yeah,
but that's still a lot of Mutas, so even if Parting can kite him, he needs to wait until he gets a lot more Phoenixes out. And if Jaedong just decides to say, you know what, screw it, I'm going to go for the attack, then those Phoenixes will get taken out.
Yep, he's done a good job sniping off a few of these Phoenix. He's gotten up to 3 total there, up to 22 Mutas against 6 Phoenix.
And behind this, Parting couldn't touch the third base, fourth base, or the fifth base. You know, the initial hatchery was taken out, but it wasn't a huge issue because Jaedong was taking a fourth base at the same time when the third base went down.
Yeah, and look at this. He's got the space over here, so he's up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases. That's 10 geysers. For a Zerg player, that is scary.
That is really scary. Now, he also needs to make sure that Parting does not throw away those Stalkers and Zalas efficiently, because right now, Parting's going to max out to a point where he has some Colossus, he has some Void Waves, but he's going to have a lot of Stalkers and Zalas, which is useless a little bit later towards the game. And at some point, Parting has to throw away those gateway units for a better army, like, you know, more Colossus, more Void Rays against a certain player.
It's just weird when you play against the Muta style. You have to be kind of prepared for a tech switch. You have to deal with the Mutas and the Zergling count, which Zealots and Stalkers on the ground, they're a pretty decent bet if you don't have Storm or Archons. You know, Parting's just a little bit limited at this point. Zergling's going to move forward here, going to get a nice surround, pick off this lone Stalker.
And a lot more goes down because of the Colossus in the back.
Yep. Oh, we have Burrow and Baneling speed being researched here.
How do you feel about this?
Well, it's going to deal with the Zealots very easily here, but It's just something interesting that I'm not expecting from Jadong. So, excellent fungal go down. This may just straight up end the game here. All of the Phoenix are going to end up dying. Excellent fungals from Jadong, and Parting freaking out now, realizing, oh crap, I just lost my entire anti-air force here. I've only got a couple of Stalkers now to deal with these units. The Infestors being incredibly cost efficient.
This isn't Wings of Liberty, right? No. This was HOTS.
It was HOTS.
Okay, double checking because that fungal was absolutely fantastic for Jadong. These Zerglings just tearing apart their Stalkers, and this forces Parting to go for a counterattack.
Yeah, Jadong is just getting, every time I see him play this matchup, he gets better and better, man.
Now he still needs to be careful because that's a Colossus Fuse Zealots, and his opponent Jadong has a handful of Mutas, but that's also a lot of Stalkers at this point.
Yeah, the Stalker count needs to be dwindled here. Otherwise, Jadong won't be able to defend. He's moving in with a lot of Zerglings and Mutas. He's just going to go try to straight up kill off his opponent in the attack here. Focus firing down a lot of these units. Will it be enough? The Muta count is very large right now. The Stalker count, it's getting very, very low right now. It looks like Jadong defends. He still has 22 Mutas. Banelings moving in here, trying to do some damage against the Immortals and the Colossus. And will the space be saved? It looks like it does for now.
It didn't even matter if he saved it because there's another hatchery going down at the left bottom base, but just saving it and killing a Colossus and the Immortals at the same time, that's just icing on the cake right now for Jadong as he defends against the attack solid. His opponent, he has 16 Stalkers, 1 Phoenix against 21 Mutas.
Now this is the point in the game where the Protoss player is like, what do I do now? And Jadong making a lot of Banelings here.
What is this, 4th of July? Is he just going for huge fireworks?
I guess he wants to take out Parting with a bang.
Mm-hmm. Now he can certainly do so at this point. He could just go for a Muta counterattack right now and finish the game, but he wants to end the game in style.
That's what it looks like here. This is like a mini ceremony almost from Jadong here. He's getting the Ultralisk Cavern. He's getting his 3/3 ground upgrades. He's getting the +2 armor for his flyer units and the +3 attack. I mean, Jadong he's just playing stellar right now. He's getting everything. He's got the entire bottom of the part of the map to himself here, and all he has to do is have a proper engagement and he'll win the game.
Yeah, well, I don't, even with the blink, that's too many Banelings I have to say against Parting as the Banelings just rolling right now.
Oh, the Banelings destroying everything on the ground here. Nice fungals go down. There's a pretty solid Phoenix count, though, and the Phoenixes may actually scare this away. Jadong potentially getting a little bit overconfident here, but Parting knows that things are not going well for him regardless.
It crushed Parting so, and that's all Jadong needed at this point.
Yeah, and look at this. 80 Zerglings, 6 Ultralisks on the way here. And as soon as the +3/3 attack finishes, I mean...
Yeah, I mean, Parting's having a hard time defending against a Mutaling Baneling from Jadong, and now he's gearing towards an army composition where he can deal against those. But with the tech switch coming in right now, well, these Zerglings can certainly finish the game.
It's very likely that those will just end up finishing everything off here. The Zala count is just simply too low. Zerglings swarming in now. This may be it for Parting, dancing, doing a ceremony against Parting, and that 4th base will not be able to get completed. Parting down to 77 supply. Jadong smiling in the booth there, knowing that he's got this game in the bag. GG! That's going to be it for Parting. Wow, man. Wow.
The Muta switch perfect, also taking out the Phoenix 1 by 1 was a really nice micro by Jadong. It was like watching Jadong's Muta micro from back in Brood War.
That game I saw there, that reminded me a lot of Jadong's old power that he had in Brood War. I was feeling a lot of that.
And the reaction timing by Jadong was perfect. Parting, he was in range to lift the Infestors and take it out 1 by 1, but it was Jadong who casted the fungal first.
He did. He got that fungal. The fungal, I feel like that was the game-winning moment there for Jadong. That was the tipping point.
Jadong was doing well up until that point where he just won the game outright.
Yeah. Like the Banelings, he didn't need to do that. I think that was just Jadong being a little bit cocky.
Well, he needs to have some confidence for his team because it's been a while since they took down a strong team in Pro League.
That's true. And you know what? SK Telecom, they've lost Rain, they've lost Parting. They only have 1 player left. It could be Fantasy. And
yes.
Jadong and Fantasy have a bit of a rivalry as well.
So now, we are most likely going to see Fantasy sent out from SK Telecom T1, but we don't know just yet until they announce a player.
It could be another Protoss player. The map's going to be Naro Station. So that's something to look out. We could even see Bisu, because Bisu's shown some pretty good PvZ.
Yeah, in fact, if he just worked on his PvP, he could be our ace today, but who is Coach Boxer? gonna send out.
All right, who's it gonna be here? There's a lot of potential players, but
it's most likely gonna be Fantasy at this point. He's looking so serious at this point as he stands up and walks towards the stage.
all right, so we have Fantasy being sent out for SK Telecom T1 as their ace player, the last man standing. But can he take out Jaedong? I think that Jaedong, he showed some pretty solid ZvP there. I think his ZVT is a bit better though, but Fantasy, not an easy opponent as well. So the score currently 3-1. Evil Genius's Team Liquid in the lead here. Can they end it in this next match? Find out after this commercial break.